So what we know about the money supply? For money supply, we use M1 money aggregator. Yes, M1. It consists of what? Please, Anastasia.
M1 is as C plus D, which refers to currency or notes and coins in like circulation outside of the banking system, and demand, which is D, or checkable.
Not demand, but deposits. Yes.
Yeah, but in our lecture, it also was it said that it could refer for demand. I can open and
Yes,
check.
it says demand or checkable deposits. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I am really sure that was just okay. Let me open it and I will see.
Maybe it's demand for deposits, but D is deposits. Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So then also we use monetary base or money base. But what is the difference between money supply and money base? Dayan?
Well, basically, monetary base includes two values also. It includes C and R, which stands for currency, as C. And, well, basically, R stands for two things, coins and notes that the bank holds in general.
Yes, thank you. So R is bank reserves. Yes, reserves. Everything that our banks need to save, they are or what they are required to save. Yes. Then, if we divide money supply by monetary base, what we will have?
We will have money multiplier.
Yes, it's money multiplier. Money multiplier. Let's write down. And let's open right. So we divide currency plus deposits by currency plus reserves. Yes. Also, we can divide numerator and denominator by currency. Let's divide here by currency and here by currency. What we will have? Here we will have 1 plus D over currency. And here 1 plus R over currency. Or we can divide the same by deposits. How you did this? You divide by deposits, yes? Or by currency?
We did it not in that or this way. We divided it by
deposit, by D, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do by D. Here by D, here by D. So here we'll have currency over deposits plus 1. And here currency over deposits plus R over deposits. This thing, how you call it?
Which thing?
Currency, if we divide currency by deposits.
It's currency deposit ratio. No, yeah.
Yes. So it's CR. Currency deposit plus 1. Here also CR plus in this, if we divide reserves by,
it's a required reserves ratio.
Required reserves ratio. Mhm. So also required reserves ratio can consist only required reserves and extra reserves that also banks can keep. Yes.
Yes.
So, okay. Then, and you see, if we will return to this formula, from this formula we can find money supply. Do you agree that money supply, or M1, equals to money multiplier?
Multiplied by monetary base.
Yes, multiplied by monetary base, yes. And we will use this, okay? Then, what else? What we also need? So this is about money supply. Also in the money market, we have money demand. Money demand depends on money demand depends on GDP or income, yes, and interest rate. Higher income in the economy gives us higher money demand or lower money demand. Maxim?
Higher.
Higher money demand. So here plus, yes, positive connection. And higher interest rate,
Lower money interest.
lower money demand, because we want to keep more money in bonds. Yes.
Yes.
Not in cash. So here minus. Good. And money supply is controlled by central bank. So that's why it's constant, always constant. Agree? And when we draw our money market, here will be amount of money in the economy. Here is interest rate. Money supply is constant, so it's vertical line. Here is money supply. Divided by price, but I think you will not use it. Okay, and money demand, you see, this is here is connection with interest rate, so it's negative. So we have standard demand. And you see that if GDP increases, you do not have an excess GDP. If GDP increases, this is the shift of money demand. But if interest rate increases, this is not shift, but we go through this money demand. Yes, you see. Okay, good. And the change in monetary base, the change in money multiplier is the shift of money supply. Okay, so good. And when we cross supply and demand, we will have equilibrium interest rate in the economy, and this is equilibrium amount of money. Good. I think that's all that we need. So now let's start.
I think Maxim has a question or not.
Please, Maxim.
Yeah, once again, do we derive the vertical line somehow, or it just exists over here on the graph?
We define like this, on this. And you will have number. When you will count, you will have number.
I think Maxim's question was, why is it vertical line? So the answer is because it is controlled by the government.
Now, if you see money multiplier, do you have here interest rate? No. Yes. Everywhere in money multiplier, you do not have interest rate. In money base, in monetary base, you do not have here interest rate. So you will have constant number that does not depend on interest rate. For each interest rate, it will be constant number. Good?
Yeah, okay, thank you, it makes sense.
Excuse me, could you please one more time explain the graph from the top, like how we create it?
Okay, so we should draw supply and demand. for supply, money supply, it's number that does not depend on interest rate. So constant number for each interest rate vertical line. This okay? No?
Yeah, okay.
And also we have money demand, and we know that here is negative connection between interest rate and money demand. High interest rate, less money we want to keep in cash, more money we want to keep in bonds. Yes, that's why our demand for money decreases. So high interest rate, lower the demand for the quantity demanded for money. So this is negative connection.
Okay, thank you.
That's all. Okay. So now let's start to speak about our tasks. What do you want to? I want to discuss first of all number 2 and number 3 because it's like tasks to solve, and then if we will have time, we can discuss number 1. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sure.
let's number 2. So assume the money supply is 750. So money supply, or M1, 750. Then total deposits are 500 billion. Deposits D, 500. The required reserves to deposit ratio is 10%. Required reserves ratio, RR, 10%, so we write down 0.1. Okay, 10%. If the central bank purchases 30 million worth of treasury bills, what that means? Let's write down like this. Central bank purchases for 30 treasury bills. That means that central bank paid for these treasury bills, paid money to people, to banks, somehow, yes? So what that means? That means that the amount of our deposits increased, yes? So that means that the change in deposits equals to 30, or you can write plus 30. So central bank purchased like papers, treasury bills, like papers, and paid money to put money into economy, into circulation. Agree? So, okay, point A. What is the maximum possible amount by which total money supply could change? So the change in money supply maximum. Find the maximum value of deposit multiplier for this economy. So here is the question and then answer for this question in the in the same task. So maximum possible amount of money or in the change of money supply is the situation when people save their money only in deposits, no cash in circulation. So, and then here in the task, find the maximum value of deposit multiplier for this economy is the answer for this question. So we should count deposit multiplier. Let's write down deposit multiplier, deposit. deposit multiplier when no cash. Anastasia?
So we know that it's just the formula. So it's the change in money. How to say the change? Like M is equals to 1 divided by a result like RR multiplied by the change of deposits.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a deposit multiplier, and the change in money supply here, if we do not have cash in the economy, is 1 over RR multiplied by the change in deposits. Yes? Mhm. Why we can use this for finding maximal change in money supply? So let us compare with money multiplier. Money multiplier, as you remember, is currency plus deposits over, oh my God, currency plus reserves. And if we do not have cash, yes, currency, cash, if currency equals to 0, what you will have here? You will have, this is 0, this is 0. You will have deposits over reserves. And if you revert, this will be 1 over R divided by D. And this is required reserves ratio. Agree? That's all. So we will have maximal change in money supply if we save our money only in the banking system. Yes, do not save our money in cash. If no cash, then money multiplier equals to deposit multiplier. And the change in money supply is maximum. Let's count. This will be how much? 1 over RR, 1 over 0.1 multiplied by the change in deposits, 30. Yes, 300. Why it is so? Why central bank put into circulation $30 million, but money supply in the economy increased by 300? Because we have multiplier effect. Yes, deposit is the credit for somebody. Yes, and if it is the credit for somebody, it's one more deposit. Yes, and it continues multiplier effect. That's why our money supply increases by 300. Agree? Okay.
Excuse me, could you please explain once again why we assume that there is no cash in circulation?
So, because our task is to answer what is the maximum possible amount by which total money supply could change. Maximum possible. Maximum possible is the situation when we have all our money only in the banking system. We can save our money on deposits, or we can save them in cash. Yes.
And why do not we consider the situation when all the money is in cash and not in the bank?
If we will have all money in cash, no deposits, no reserves, money multiplier will be equal to here 0, here 0. Money multiplier will be cash divided by cash. It's 1. Yes. So this will be the change in money supply 1 multiplied by the change in D. It's only 30. There will be no multiplier effect. Banking system will not work, will not create money.
Yeah, okay, I see. Thank you.
And if more money is saved in banking system, so more money is created by banking system. Better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So next, B. Do you expect that money supply would actually change by that much? explain why this value is the maximum value. Okay, I explained it, but maybe maybe somebody wants to tell it one more time to answer point B. For me to understand that you understood.
I believe we understand why it changes, but I did not understand actually why it changed by no, when we calculated like that it turns 300. I understand it like arithmetically, but I don't understand it logically.
It's a multiplier effect. So if you put, for example, I don't know, 100 on deposit in bank, yes?
Mhm.
So what the bank is doing? What the bank is doing? So if we have required reserves ratio 0.1, that means that bank will save how much? 100 multiplied by 0.1, 10% the bank will save, yes, in reserves. So RR equals to 0.1. So 10 is for reserves. And the other sum, 90, what bank will do? It will give credit, yes? 90 for credit. To other guy. This was the first guy, number 1. Credit for other guy, number 2. This guy will buy something for this credit money, yes, and then pay 90 to somebody, and other guy will put this 90 into the bank for deposit. So 90 for new deposit. Then our bank will save 0.1 out of 90. Yes, 10%. How much? 9 in reserves. And 81 will give as a credit to other guy. 81 credit to other guy. And it continues. Yes? And how much money is created in the economy? 100 plus 90 plus, and it decreases its geometrical progression. Yes?
And in total, it must be like always 10 times bigger than the initial input. Oh no.
No, if the required reserves ratio is lower, there will be more money supply. Money supply consists of what? Of currency and deposits. So all deposits here, yes, goes to money supply. This multiplier.
So here we have this 30 million, then with the multiplier, all this effect that you showed with the credits and deposits, it creates 300.
So when central bank purchases treasury bills for $30 million, so it increases deposits by 30, yes? And that's why money supply, so he put this 30 into banking system, and then by multiplier effect, banking system create money supply, more deposits, yes?
Yeah, okay.
The money supply will be equal to 1 over RR multiplied by the change in deposits. This is the formula for geometrical progression. Бесконечно убывающая геометрическая прогрессия. Вот это. Если сложить все депозиты, которые получаются. And I thought it was in the lecture for you, so I didn't want to.
It was explained like this process, yeah, with the deposits and credits. I just did not apply it to this particular situation, to this example. Thank you.
So I can calculate this for you. So this is D, then 90 is what? 90 is 1 minus RR, agree? Multiplied by D. Next, this money, 1 minus RR, 1 minus 0.1 multiplied by this deposit. Yes, put it into other bank. Then this bank, from this money, put only 1 minus RR. Yes, so this is 1 minus RR in square multiplied by D. And then we need to, when we add all this, so D plus 1 minus RR multiplied by D plus 1 minus RR square multiplied by D plus infinitely. So you will have D 1 plus 1 minus RR plus 1 minus RR square plus, this is geometrical progression. And this sum is equal to 1 over RR multiplied by D. This sum. Okay, so okay, let's continue. You can read this in textbook or watch in the lecture one more time. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so then so our answer for point B is that actually money supply will not change that much, because not all money are in the banking system. Not all money in the economy are in deposits. A part of money is saved in cash. Yes, that's why we need to use not deposit multiplier, but money multiplier. Agree? Let's write down this. Point B. So money supply will not change that much. As people prefer to keep some fraction of their money in form of cash. To keep some fraction of their money in form of cash. And in point C, we need to find how money supply will actually change. Yes, this is our task. Assuming that banks hold no excess reserves, but people like to keep a part of their money as cash on hand, compute the money multiplier for this economy. So this is our formula for money multiplier. And we need to find all these things. What we have, one more time, money multiplier, currency plus deposits over currency plus reserves. In reserves, we do not have excess reserves, only required reserves by central bank. So no excess reserves, no excess. What we have? Deposits we have, yes. Then reserves we can count. We can count reserves. How we can count reserves? Reserves equal to what? So do you know that if we divide reserves by deposits, this is required reserves ratio? Yes. So we know deposits and required reserves ratio. Agree? That means that reserves equals to required reserves ratio multiplied by deposits. Required reserves ratio 0.1 deposits 500. This how much? 50.
50.
Mhm, agree. So then currency, how we will count it? Where we have currency?
In currency deposit ratio. Deposit.
But we do not know currency deposit ratio.
Well, we have, and also we have a monetary supply,
Yes, yes,
which
we
is
know.
currency plus deposits.
Exactly, yes. So we know that M1 equals to currency plus deposits. We know deposits and money supply. So we'll find currency. So from here, currency is our money supply minus deposits. This is 750 minus deposits 500. This is 250. So 250 is kept by people in cash. Yes, and 500 of money supply is kept in the banking system on deposits. Agree? Now we're ready to count money multiplier. So money multiplier will be equal to currency 250 plus deposits 500 over currency 250 plus reserves. Reserves we counted 50. This is equal to what?
Is this equal 2.5?
2.5, I guess, yes.
2.5. What this money multiplier will show us? It will show that if we put into the banking system, if we increase our money to, if we will put into circulation $1, our money supply will increase by $2.5. Money multiplier. Okay? So, and let's count the change in money supply if we will use money multiplier. Actual change. This 2.5 multiplied by the change in deposits, 30. This is 75. Yes. So if we will not save if we will not keep money in cash, then money supply will increase by 300. But we save a part of our money in cash. That's why money supply increased by only 75. You see? Questions about this task?
No questions.
Okay, I hope. So let's continue. Please read number 3. We will also solve it. So number 3. Suppose that in the economy, currency in circulation is 100. So currency 100. Amount of bank reserves is 500. Bank reserves is our capital. And the reserve ratio is 10%. RR 0.1. Then the price level is 1 and stays unchanged. Price level equals to 1. Aggregate output is 1,480. What is the letter for aggregate output? Aggregate output. Okay, aggregate income.
Ну, I, наверное.
Еще раз.
Вы спросили, как обозначается? Ну, если income, то I, наверное, нет.
It's AE, aggregate output. AE, no.
Это ВВП. Y.
Yield.
Мгм.
А почему ее обозначают Y? Почему не какая-нибудь другая больше?
Actually. Income, because yield it's income. Lisa, ВВП also refers to yield, а yield это income.
Ладно.
Aggregate income. Yes, it's our GDP. Agree? Mhm. So then, so you see that it's the hardest is to write down the task. Yes, and to solve it's easier. Then demand for money is given by money demand equals to 120 plus 0.5 multiplied by GDP by aggregate output minus 2000 multiplied by interest rate. And we should calculate 0.1. The value of monetary base, value of money multiplier, value of money supply. So monetary base, who wants?
Actually, monetary base is, as we know, it's currency plus reserves. Yes. So we just need to paste that we have.
100 plus 50. 150. So okay, let's continue. Reserves. No. What we need to count? Deposits. Yes. Let's see. Value of money multiplier. We need to count value of money multiplier. But as you know, this is our currency plus deposits over monetary base. Yes? M1 divided by monetary base. Monetary base we counted. So what we have, currency we have, we do not have deposits. That's why we need to find deposits. Who wants deposits? As in the previous task.
Okay. So we have, as far as I understand, we have required reserve ratio, and we've got the. Let me check. Yes, we've got the R or not yet. I can see. So we should make. So we should multiply one by one and get the D, as far as I understand. So we should just.
Multiply.
We have
Okay.
to divide, I believe,
Yes.
the
We have to
ratio by the
divide.
reserves.
Yes.
Yes, because why? Deposits over
Yes.
reserve. No, one more time. Reserves over deposits, it's our required reserves ratio.
Yes,
So to find deposits.
So to find deposits, we should R divided by RR, and it should be as 50 divided by 0. Oh yes, and it should be like 500, or yeah, that's it.
So we have 500 deposits, 10% where we save in reserves. Yes. So 10% out of 500 is 50.
It's 50, and we have like a 150 at the end.
Yeah.
Because we reserve.
Our deposits.
Okay.
Part of deposits is saved in reserves.
Yes.
So money multiplier, let's count. Currency 100 plus deposits, we counted 500, divided by monetary base, currency plus reserves 150. This is easy. Yes, 600 over 150, it's 4. So the change in the change of money in circulation in the economy by 1 will increase money supply by 4. Yes, this is the explanation for money multiplier. Good. And what else we need? Value of money supply. How much? We counted it, actually.
It's 300,
No.
600.
600, yes, 600. You
We
see?
should multiply 4 and
Yeah.
monetary base, and it is 150 multiplied by 4, so it makes
Or you
600.
see that in the formula for money multiplier, in the numerator, you have money supply. It's 600. Yes, the same. So you can use money multiplier multiplied by monetary base. This will be 4 multiplied by 150. Or you can look at numerator, 100 plus 500. Yes. Or this is currency plus deposits. This is 600. Agree? 2 ways how to find. So this was point 1. So now we have, and you see, we found money supply, and this is constant number. It does not depend on interest rate. So it will be vertical line. You can start drawing it. This is our money market. Here will be interest rate. Here, money in circulation. M1, yes. So money supply equals to 600. Vertical line. Money supply divided by the prices in the economy, price level. This is 600 divided by 1. Because we draw in real terms. We need to divide by price level. 600. Good. Then in point 2, we need to find equilibrium in the money market. Can I erase? Do you have questions about this? So in number 2, we should find equilibrium interest rate. So equilibrium in the money market. In each market, remember micro course, we need to cross demand and supply. Yes? So in equilibrium, money demand should be equal to money supply. Agree? Money supply, we know 600. Yes, money demand, we should count by using our information. Money demand equals to 120 plus then 0.5 multiplied by aggregate output by GDP. 1,480. Yes? Then minus 2,000 multiplied by I. Let's count it. Money demand. This is 740, 860 minus 2,000 multiplied by I. This is the formula for money demand. You see that this is a linear function with negative slope. You see negative connection with interest rate. Yes? And we can draw it also. If interest rate is equal to 0, money demand is equal to 860. And vice versa. If money demand is equal to 0, interest rate is equal to 860 over 2,000. I will not count it. Let's put like this. 860 over 2,000. Okay, it's easy. Yes. It's how much? 4.3. And draw line with negative slope. This is money demand for this economy. And on the graph, when we cross demand and supply, we will have equilibrium interest rate in the economy. Let's count it. Yes, questions how I draw this line. Do you know how to draw lines with negative slope? I hope. So in equilibrium, money demand equal to money supply. Money demand. Okay, we need to write here money supply over the price level because we work in real terms, and money demand here also in real terms. But okay, I don't think you will use it. But let's see. Money demand 860 minus 2000 multiplied by I. Money supply 600. And from here, maybe somebody will tell me the answer.
It's 0.13.
0.13, yes. Or 1.3, 0.13, yes. So 13%, yes. It's equilibrium interest rate. Okay, thank you. So this is our so equilibrium in the money market, interest rate 0.13 or 13%, how you want, and equilibrium amount of money is 600 because it's constant. It is controlled by central bank. Good. Questions? Okay. So let's do number one. Number one. You can prepare your answers. What will happen in the money market as a result of each of the events listed below? In each case, determine either the event influences the demand for money or the supply of money. What happens to the interest rate in each case? So I will start to show you how to answer. I will do point A, and then I will ask you next points. Okay. So point A. In point A, the central bank sells government bonds. We write down this: central bank sells government bonds. Government bonds, it's like papers, yes? So if central bank sells to the economy these papers, he take money out of circulation, yes, for these bonds. Agree? So how we call it? This is the open market operation. Yes, it was in the last slide of your lecture. This is open market operation. We call it. Yes. And we write that central bank takes money out of economy, out of circulation. Money from economy. That means the change in monetary base is negative, less than 0. That means that money supply will decrease. Yes, because monetary base is decreasing. And what is happening if supply is decreasing? So this is the demand. Yes, this is the supply. Supply shifts to the left. So interest rate will increase. Agree? Interest rate increases. Questions? This is how you should explain. This is how you should explain all these points. So
Again, could you please explain why interest rate increases as a result of the money supply decrease?
interest rate is the price for money in the money market. Yes. In each
Mhm.
market, if a supply decreases, the price increases.
Goes up. Yep.
You see that money supply decreases. That means shifts to the left, and the next cross is with high interest rate. You see this shift of money supply.
Yeah. Thank you.
So B is for you. Investors anticipate that business conditions will deteriorate in the future. Diane, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Well, basically, let me read again. Investors anticipate that business conditions will deteriorate in the future. Well, basically, investors are pretty not risky people, not at all. And if they predict that something is about to get hot, they basically decide to not to invest in that. For example, if economists anticipate that Bitcoin is about to drop in price and become less efficient for investors, then they'll basically not invest any money, and the price for Bitcoin will basically drop because no one will be interested in buying it.
So if they anticipate bad condition, that means that investments will decrease.
Yes, no
Yes.
investment, because no one will invest in something that is about to become, well, inefficient.
So if investments decrease, what that means? This is the part of GDP. You remember it,
Yes,
I hope. Yes. This is the part of GDP. So that means that total aggregate output,
it's going to
aggregate
decrease
income.
too.
And what is happening in the money market? This is supply side or demand side in the money market?
This is the demand side.
Demand side. So what's happening with demand?
Demand decreases.
And
And the interest rate also decreases.
interest rate decreases, yes. Thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
let me show. So money supply stays the same because investors, they are from the demand side in the money market. So money supply stays the same. Money demand was like this and then decreases. Yes. And you see that interest rate, equilibrium interest rate decreases. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Next. C. Thank you. Who wants? Government decreases income taxes. Easy. Yelisey, please.
Okay, first of all, we should say that probably in that case, if it decrease in income taxes, investors would have more interest to invest in that economy, so investments would be higher, I'd say, and it would probably increase the yield or the GDP. Also, we should say that it will increase the money demand, and government, central bank would have to increase the interest rate.
It's not central bank who increases
Oh,
interest
no,
rate.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
happening
yeah.
in the money market.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
who wants to argue about changing investments? What is changing? If government decreases income taxes is for whom? Not for.
Well, for people who earn money, it's the part how much of their how big the part of their money that they have to give to the government, and I think the point of it is to Well, basically, let's see, if the government decreases income taxes, that means that the amount of money that people are going to pay to government decreases. So they're trying to make less money flow to flow in the economy.
Mhm.
So that means that there is enough money flowing, and they're maybe afraid of inflation in that case.
On the contrary, more money rests with the hands of the casual people.
Yes,
They
yes.
do not money does not go to the banks. It rests with people. So
No, people put money into banks. So
Yeah,
here you
they'll
see-
give the money to the banks.
So government decreases income taxes. That means if taxes
more money
decreases,
is available.
our disposable income increases. You remember this? YD. Disposable income of consumers, yes, of households increases. Do you remember this? And that means that we will consume more. Agree? So consumption of households will increase. If consumption increases, that means that GDP increases, as consumption is a part of GDP. And same, yes, money demand increases and interest rate increases. If demand increases in each market, the price increases. Agree?
No, I'm sorry, I have a question. Do we express that by by decreasing taxes, government also decreases its capacity to do investments and stuff, or we do not express it over here?
We consider taxes only for households in your course.
Okay.
We do not have in our model that we're solving. In our model, we do not have subsidies or taxes for firms, so it will not change investments. Okay, taxes only for households. They will influence disposable income and will change consumption. Okay. In more complex models, yes, taxes also not for people, but for firms. But here is written income taxes. Income is only for households. Yes, those who own resources in the economy. Agree? So, okay. D, or maybe questions? Higher demand, higher the price. I think it's easy. D, more shops begin to accept credit cards for purchases. More credit cards. What that means, Anastasia?
I'm not sure, but that mean that there would be less like real money, and that mean that people would save more in like cash?
Not in cash, but vice versa, in deposits.
Oh
Yes?
yeah.
Yes, yes. So more deposits, that means higher.
Yep, higher supply, higher
Yeah.
GDP.
No, not GDP. This is supply
Oh,
side.
yeah.
This is higher money supply. Yes, exactly. So if more shops accept more credit cards, that means that people will use more credit cards, and more credit cards, more credits. More credits, more deposits. Agree? So less cash. So that means higher amount of credits. That means higher amount of deposits and less cash. And that means that we will have higher money multiplier. Money multiplier will increase, as you remember. And that means higher money supply. What's happening with interest rate?
It will decrease.
It will decrease. Shift to the right. Yes, interest rate decreases. I can show. So this is the demand. Yes, money supply increases. Shift to the right. So you see equilibrium interest rate decreases. Yes. As in each market, higher supply, lower the price for the product. And money here is like the product, which has price. One more. Let's do one more. Point E. Consumers become more optimistic about future. Daniil, please.
Well, I think that just increases the demand for money.
Why?
That's actually the opposite case as with investors, well, because people become optimistic and don't expect a crisis, then they naturally want to consume more.
Yes, they will consume more. Exactly. Yes. So
Also, I have kind of a question about the previous case. So you mean credit cards as in кредитные карты, а не дебетовые именно?
In our model, it's the same.
Хорошо.
In our model, it's the same. Okay. So, because we have, if somebody take credit, it will buy something, and then the seller will put earned money into the bank on deposits. So it's like so this money are in banking system, and that's why we think in these terms that credits and deposits, it's like the same amount. Agree?
Yes.
So, and here, consumers become more optimistic about the future. That means that they will consume more. Agree? They will consume more and save less. And we can also write down the part of consumption as, for example, they will consume autonomous consumption. Autonomous CA, I forgot how we, autonomous consumption will increase. Autonomous savings will decrease, so they will consume more now. And that means that consumption will increase as a part of GDP. GDP will increase. The demand for money from consumers will increase. Yes, money demand will increase. And higher demand in each market means higher price, equilibrium price. So interest rate will increase. Agree? Did we do all? No. Okay, we will stop now because now our class is over, but you can continue and answer more these explanations. Okay? By yourself at home. This for you, for home task. So F to J at home. For you to train to write these logical explanations. Because this you will need in your I don't know, exam or something like this. So in macro part of your exam, you should explain like this with like logical cues. Okay.
May I ask a question?
Mhm.
If we will write not in, for example, if I just forgot how, I don't know, something represents in letters, can I write like the whole like the name of the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no problem. Because for me it's faster to write down like this. Yes, but you can write in words if you forgot. Don't worry. Or you can write in Russian if you forgot in English word. No problem. We'll fix it.
Whoa, thank you.
So I will take my. Please raise hands who answered today. We'll write down. So Maxim, we'll stop recording.